Well, we were back Saturday morning, and thanks for tuning in, everybody. You know what? It is November, but I still celebrate pretty much Halloween all the way through. But then again, everybody has their own thing, and yes, Halloween and horror is definitely my big thing. I mean, I love it. To me, that October is my Christmas every year. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and reading some comments. We got some other stuff to talk about today. This time around, we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, something that just got in. So we'll look at it and I'll tell you what I think about it. That is, if this thing doesn't fall over. In fact, here, we're going to lay it down. Okay, so in no particular order, we're going to go ahead and read the comments. Again, if your comment was not read, it's probably because it came in, after the fact that we did the video and all that kind of stuff. So, or for some reason, it's just held back. So, which can happen. All right. First one up, we got it by Harrison Mantooth. My condolences to your loss of your good friend Ernie. Yeah, Ernie is a really good friend of mine, very near and dear to me, responsible for a lot of, what I know about the business and everything like that, and many other things in personal life, just hurdles and things that we need to get over. And, I attribute to a lot of where I am today in doing what I get to do to him, really. I mean, there was a lot of times where we talked a lot about stuff. One of the things that was really cool that I always really just loved was the fact that, he used to tell me all these stories about when he worked at an indoor range. And I knew that was something that I wanted to eventually do. And I got to do that, and that was really important for me to be able to do that and experience that. And I tell you, and I really did get to experience that in the best way, because I got to work in an indoor range that was still that old school, mentality. And I tell you what, out of the entire duration that I've worked in the firearms business, the indoor range was probably the most fun I had, and I'm proud to say it was nice to be able to spend 5 years doing that. That was a lot of fun. So anyway, to his family and friends, I know firsthand what it feels like to lose such a close individual that you can place a complete trust in. Yeah, and then that's getting really rare these days. It really is. People that you can just absolutely trust, or call your friend or call a friend, because there is so much, unfortunately, there's so much backstabbing and terrible individuals that maybe come off as your friend, but it was kind of goes back to like what my friend Don had told me when I was leaving the island, to be careful. Not everybody. Sometimes people want to get to be your friend or get closer to you because they want something from you. And, it is, I mean, not to make it sound so doom and gloom as a way to look at it, but unfortunately there is some truth to that. So definitely, be careful out there. And I feel, for me, the older I get, the harder it is to make friends. And, most of all my friends that I choose to be around are a good 20 years older than I am. I seem to have the most in common with them, and at least talk to things about. I mean, at least you get to talk to. For me, I get to talk to them about stuff that they actually lived, and so that to me is I've always had the interest to that. I'm sorry, the generation that's coming up, the younger than me, I just don't have anything to. There's nothing there. So I mean, I just don't have much to relate to. I didn't grow up with a cell phone. I didn't grow up with the computers and the internet being like just encompassing everything. So that is definitely a different generation. So anyway. I need to get off my backside and take my 222 LR handguns out and put some rounds down range. Great Collectors Radio. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. We appreciate that. And your comments, again, your comments are so important to this show and means everything. I mean, your comments a lot of times dictate what the show is going to be about or whatnot. So anyway, moving on here, we got Slim Fire. Good morning. I hope you had a great week and have a good weekend. I'm sorry to hear about your friend. You were right about new Colt revolvers in 1911s. I purchased the Colt 1911 Gold Cup this year. Congrats. And it's a nice gun. Shoots great and awesome bluing. It's not as tight as a Les Bear or Wilson, but you get what you pay for. Thanks, Slim. Yeah, they're not gonna. That is definitely true. The Colts, the newer Colt 1911, and but you know what? That even goes to say about the older ones too. They loosen up. They do. They just they're not going to be. They certainly do not have the tolerances like a Les Bear. Les Bear, I think, is the king of that. I must say, in the custom lineup work. Wilson definitely makes a high quality 1911. I can say attest, myself. That I believe their quality and what they're producing out there still for the money, I think is it's definitely some of the best out there. But and I mean, and that's and I know it's like you don't want to. It's not so much that for me it's like, oh, look at what I got or anything like that. It's certainly not that. At least for me. For me, it was just over time, just wanting to see where does quality take you? Where does it go? If anything, for me, it was just just to impress myself, just to see and hold and get to shoot a high-end custom 1911. And once you do, it really is. I gotta tell you, it's phenomenal. It really is. There's a lot to it. But that being said, I have been looking really hard myself at the Springfield Armory. I think what it's now is known as the Operator. I think it was once called the TRP or something, but I couldn't find many TRPs still out there that because I think they're kind of getting away from that lineup. But especially for me, what I'm looking for is in a 9mm. They don't have it, but they do have the Operator. I'm still hesitant on it. They're right around $1,000. Depending on where you're at, where you're looking for. But I'm not a fan of the light rail. I really am not a fan of the light rail on the 1911, which the Operator does have. So, it's kind of I'm kind of hit and miss on that. I'm not sure, but there is other things I'm looking at that might pique my interest, which unfortunately these days not a whole lot does. I've been doing a lot less buying and stuff, and just kind of enjoying what I have, what I have left. All right, Crazy Scotsman. A couple nice knives. Sorry to hear about your loss, brother. Good friends are hard to come by. Like you, I had some really good folks help me get started in the industry many years ago now. Yeah, and that's the cool thing is there are people, and that's really neat, to have had the help that I had and people that taught me things, and and I don't know how many of the viewers that we have are of the younger generation, and I'm gonna just throw this out. Be open-minded. Try not to be so know-it-all. Take time to stop and hear what people that have been doing it a lot longer than you've been alive, and hear what they have to say, hear what they have to teach. Because now I'm not saying everything that they have to teach is correct. That's certainly true to that. I'm not going to say that every older person is right or correct or whatever. I've met a lot of them as well that ended up being pretty unfortunately shady individuals, and that comes from all walks of life. I don't care, age or whatnot, but do take a minute to at least look at those that are teaching you and what they have to offer you. And don't just discount it, and try to learn from it and use it to your advantage and gain and get ahead and learn something. Because remember, looking something up and reading an article about something is one thing. Actually experiencing things is another. Here's a good point, or a good kind of example. I got a friend that moved. Him and I have been friends on the island for many, many years. He ended up moving to the mainland first before I did. He was not really into firearms, but on his last day that we moved, he moved off the island. He wanted to go actually shoot some guns at the range. That surprised me because he wasn't that kind of person. But he had a lot of fun, obviously, because now he's got quite a collection, bigger than mine, and definitely has had a lot of stuff. I mean, he's had a lot of stuff he owned, shot, tried, didn't like it, sold it off, kind of like what I've done. So he's got a lot of experience and a lot of stuff in his hands. I mean, he's owned some firearms that I certainly never owned. I never even got to check out. So he's, but there again, he's got that experience through just actually physically doing it and owning one and trying it. And he can definitely say, I used it, I shot it, I didn't like it, and I got rid of it. Rather than just listening to the naysayers and all that and just jumping on a bandwagon. No, he actually did it. So there is something about that to be said. So that would be my advice: is to obviously pick and choose, be very careful. Who you listen to, but there are still good people that are willing to pass on the experiences and the knowledge that they can be passed on, and that way you can gain and grow from it. It's really important. That was one of the things that I did when I first started in it. Just listening to people that obviously knew a whole lot more. And sure, is it tough at times? Absolutely. Nobody's perfect. We all had our moments of being arrogant and whatever you want to call it. I've been there myself. I've gotten to the point where now I'm more humble about a lot of things, and I certainly don't take off spouting off all kinds of random stuff. Now, as Crazy Scotsman and I discussed this before, sometimes some people need to be put in their place. So sometimes it is necessary to, perhaps, shed a little bit of knowledge out there and just kind of turn the faucet on a little bit. All right. Jeffrey Richardson, great memories, great stories, great friends. Yes. I've lost a lot of friends, lost a lot of people over the last 7 years of being gone. So it has certainly, I've lost a lot of people, a lot of good people I cared about, a lot of good people that cared about me. And like I said, I mean, when you can get somebody and call them your friend and hang out with them, go do things with them, it's a rare thing. And you know what? I always say this: it's not so much how many friends you have; it's just the quality of the friends you've got. I always like to say, it's my friends are kind of like the cylinder in a Model 29. There's not many of them in there, but boy, they pack a punch. All right. John Crane here. Do you have any experience with Ruger 1911s? I have both full-size and Commander versions. They are not hand-fitted, but overall seem like good quality guns. Ruger's a good name. Everybody knows Ruger. Ruger has definitely got a name for themselves of being, especially like their revolvers, the Red Hawk or the, any of those out there. I would love to at some point maybe perhaps get a Red Hawk just for testing stuff out because those things are indestructible. At the only experience I've had with the 1911s were at the range. When I was at the range, we had them, and we definitely rented them out quite a bit. They seemed to hold up. They didn't have any issues that I'm aware of. So that's all I can really speak on that behalf. And that was one of the really neat things about the working at the indoor range is when you work in an indoor range, you actually see what high mileage does on a lot of these rental guns. You actually get to see what brands and what ones hold up and what ones don't, and so that was very interesting. And from what I remember, the Ruger 1911s, because we had both the Commander and the full size, they held up. I don't remember if the Ruger is like this or not. But I'm going to tell you this, I'm not a fan of those beaver tail grip safeties that, if you're looking at the grip safety in the back like this, you know, the edges right here, they've beveled them in. I'm not a fan of that because that kind of goes back to the old GI droopy one that kind of digs into your web of your hand. And I'm not knocking them. I love the old school GI 1911. If I had only one 1911 to keep, it would have to be something like that. You know, I'd have to have some kind of old original government model Colt or something like that, just because of the history, the heritage, and all that. That's what I would have to choose. But if you're going to go with the whole high ride beaver tail grip safety and all that, I think the whole point of that is it's the comfort, it's the big, you know, fat paddle that it has that rests on the web of your hand, that doesn't dig into it. And so that I'm not a fan of. I know there's a couple of companies that do that, and I'm not a fan of that. That's just my preference. But other than that, no. I mean, they held up. They did hold up really well. I did not experience any issues with those. But I don't own one myself. I wish they would make a blued one. That would be, I don't know if they do or maybe they do. Maybe they, I'm behind the times, guys, fellows, people. I'm definitely behind on the times on a lot of that stuff. I'm an old school blued firearms person. Now, stainless, for me, it's very, I'm very particular. I like stainless, but I like it where they're high polished. They look like chrome. That's what I like. I mean, where you can mistake the thing for a nickel-plated, you know, a beautiful nickel-plated firearm or something like that. That's where, if I do like the stainless, that's where I usually gravitate towards. So that's why I think like the new Python or the Anaconda that Colt's got out is beautiful. That thing is gorgeous. I'd love to see it in a royal blue like that, but you know, if they did it on the stainless, they did it right. I think if they were to do it a matte stainless or like a satin stainless, I think it would have failed miserably because I think that gun would have been ugly. Just my opinion. I don't like, you know, I'm just, it looks like, I just don't like it. It looks like unfinished work to me. That's just the way I look at it. They're durable. They hold up. Yeah, they're easy to clean, definitely. But that's just the way I feel. And I always felt, too, if a company is going to put their roll mark or their logo on it, make it a roll mark. Actually stamp that thing into the metal. Don't just like put like what it looks like, you know, like just branding it on there. I'm gonna tell you this right now, Wilson Combat, they just, you know, you pay all this extra money for, you know, for some of their stuff like the Vickers Elite magazines. They just branded the logos on there, you know. Come on, like, you know, couldn't you have done a better job of getting that, you know, the logos and stuff on there? You know, if you're going to pay the money for it, like, you know, it's like, okay, you're going to have a Nike shirt, but then the logo's peeling off. You know, it's like that. So, at least just the way I feel about it. But no, the Ruger 1911s, like I said, they held up. I ain't got no problem with them. They, you know, and they're pretty traditional. So, that's really awesome. All right, Bohemian Hunting Club. I still turn on all the lights in the house when watching The Exorcist, the scariest movie of all time. Yes. Absolutely. The Exorcist, the original Exorcist movie, I think still stands above all of them. I really do. That's still the scariest one. That still is the top scary one. CZ 9mm USA has a response to that. He says, I agree. In my top 10 of all time scary movies, it's going to be The Exorcist. That's from Bretta 9 USA. Senior there. And by the way, I'm glad to hear that they are back from their, I guess they were on a hunting trip, so glad to hear they're back, and we'll get some good content from them. So definitely they've been awesome at pumping out really good 1911 videos and stuff like that. So, all right, Tin Man. Rest in peace, Ernie. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Love the Buck 112 Ranger. Take a little Brasso or Flitz at the ends and get the green corrosion off. They will look new. Don't store it in a sheath or it will come back. Ask me how I know. Yeah, I'm afraid to lose the sheath and everything because that thing is so sentimental. I'd have to, like, I guess if I do separate it, I'd have to put it in a box somewhere or whatever. But yeah, it'd be something I really don't want to lose or destroy or have it break or something like that. So, all right. Joe P says, rest in peace, Ernie. Thank you, Joe. Swig of coffee for Joe. Squib 1911 22 Blaster and TAB videos, also remember known as Trees of Blowing. He says morning and awesome stuff. You know what? In fact, I did a reply to TAB Trees of Blowing. He has an amazing channel. I really like his content. You never know what you're going to get with the TAB videos. Go check him out. Give him a subscribe. Give him some love over there. Let him know that I sent you. And, again, show him some love over there because I think he has a really good channel. There's a lot of channels out there that I feel, are so underrated that, never really got the following that they really deserved. And, I mean, not just like, us, our community here, but there's even other channels that I watch that are totally not gun related that I really felt they made so many people laugh, and like myself included, that they really deserved a whole lot more fellowship than they got, which is sad because a lot of times that's what ends a lot of these channels is because, when they figure nobody's watching or listening to their stuff anyway, so why keep going? So anyway, all right, let's move this. I don't want to damage the coffee mug because we got something pretty cool here to show you. This right here is something new that I just picked up. It's a steel target. It's a popper. I guess it's classic popper. How it works, obviously, bang, and it goes down. So it's got this really heavy-duty spring in there. I got to tell you this. I haven't shot it yet, but I feel like that spring could be a little stronger. Now, okay, how much does this thing cost? $50. I always round it up to the to pretty much where you're going to be paying for it. I don't get sponsored by anybody. I spend my own hard-earned money on this stuff like that, so that just get that out of the way. This is not a sponsorship video. This is by a company called High Wild. I got this on Amazon. Good old Amazon. Here's the box that came in. I was actually rather surprised how small this thing was. But I was also surprised at how quality it is, or appears to be. I haven't shot it yet. But here it is. High Wild AR-500 steel classic popper target. And that's what we're going to talk about on this time around. Because shooting targets. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a cheapskate. I can't stand going to an indoor range and purchasing targets because, especially for something I'm gonna literally tear it up in like minutes. I hate spending money on that stuff. I hate it. It's like garbage bags. You're spending money on something you're literally throwing away with the intentions of throwing it in the garbage can. So that's just like my thing. I just can't get over that. So I can't get over spending money on something you're literally going to destroy. And so paper targets, that's where it is for me. I can't. Oh, that just drives me crazy. So I'm one of those guys that, yes, I will look around and find any cardboard box or anything and cut a square out and literally use that in an indoor range or whatever. This is one of the things that I bought that I love. This is mostly what I shoot. I don't know who this is. Taylor targets. They're target markers. There's some 22 shells in there that I have left over. But this is what I usually take with me to the indoor range. I don't know how many there are in this, but you can see there they are. And they're just basically oversized yard sale stickers. And I just stick them on there, and I usually play a carnival game and try to shoot the entire thing out of there and do that kind of number on them. But yeah, $6. There's 100 of them. There you go. $6, 100 of them. I mean, you know, so there's that. Now I like shooting steel. I don't mind spending a little bit of money on the steel. So $50. That's what you got here. It's pretty. It's fairly thick. You can see that there. It's fairly thick. Now you can buy this thing with the mounting, the stand. You can buy the one with the stand. It's like an extra $30, I think, for the stand. Now the stand, all that does really is it's like a platform like that, and it's got the legs, and that's it. So again, let me reiterate, I'm a cheapskate when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So I especially when it comes to anything that you're trying to charge me money for, that I look at and I know I can cobble something like that together in my work shed, that's where I start to get a little like, I don't really want to do that. So I just bought the popper itself without the stand system. And also because most of the time I know that the stand system is not made out of the same quality steel as this, and usually it's just like, if you hit that stand and hit one of the legs and it bends, then what? So again, back to that thing, pay money for things I'm going to destroy. All right, so this has got a couple ways to mount this. From what I can see right away, the main way I guess would be you can wedge a 2x4 in there. So that's always nice. Wedge a 2x4 in there. You can get it up on a pedestal or something like that, and there you have it. And I also thought it was kind of funny how they sell you Target paint when you can just literally go to a dollar store and pick up a bunch of spray paint, or the cheapest spray paint you can find. Who cares what color it is as long as you can paint it? But in this case, this is something that I think I don't think painting it is going to matter too much because really it's reactive. It pings and it folds. It's gonna fall down like that, ping, and come back up. The whole thing, the way it's bolted together, seems pretty quality. The brackets here that holds up that plate seem to be welded pretty good. I guess if it were to break or bust off, you'd have to take it to a welder and get it redone. I'm assuming that would be not too much of a problem to do. But the spring to load it does seem a little bit like, I don't know, maybe it's like that because, I don't know, maybe if this thing is supposed to pop, hit down pretty hard, would be the assumption. But I'm just going to use it for pistols. I'm just going to use pistol calibers on it. I do not want to shoot it with any kind of rifle, even though it says you can. Let's see. It says durable welded steel construction, 3/8 AR-500 steel target, 5-inch auto reset target paddle, high visibility orange color. I mean, that's going to blow off the minute. I mean, you can hit that with birdshot and strip the paint off of it. No assembly required. That is cool. It came just like that. It came folded up and right here in this box. All right. Mount it target to a 2x4 post. Fix it onto the ground with ground stakes. I guess you could stake it down if you live in a place that you can do that. I'm from the island, and you definitely can't do that there. I'm not sure out here the hard caliche or something, you may be able to get through that. Fixing it onto a wood board. Yeah, that's another thing you could do. I mean, you literally affix that to a wood board. I kind of want it up in the air a little bit. I kind of want it at least, I don't want to be shooting down at it. I want to shoot, almost try to square it up as much as possible. All right, and the other stuff is not included. Obviously, they're not going to include a 2x4 and all that. Come on, I mean, that's just stupid to even think that. But yeah, like I said, $50 for this thing. High Wild. That just looks like some warning stuff and all that. So, shooting steel and how this works. Also the safeties of it. Somebody said, "Well, I don't know how shooting steel safety." That's why these things give like this. If it was solid straight on and it just bink, there would be a problem. But if you notice, most of the targets, there's some sort of give or there's some sort of bend to it. those big silhouette steel targets that you see where they kind of stand there and people are shooting them, they deflect downward. So it does deflect the rounds. That's very important, so you don't get ricochets and all that kind of stuff. So it's funny, as some ranges I've shot at, like the dueling tree. They had a dueling tree out there, and they told us, oh, we had to put it at like, they made us put the thing at like 50, 60 yards out or something like that. Come on. I mean, it's a pistol dueling tree, you know. But yeah, I mean, there you go. Some, you know, weird. Sometimes some of those ranges got some really stupid and weird rules. Like, I don't know if they just like overthinking things like that. I get it. You need to have rules for ranges, but come on. I mean, make it, you know, simplify it. Don't make it too convoluted or just asinine, really. So, but yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing how that holds up. You know what? You know, I'm not promising anything. Maybe you'll see a little bit of video on how this thing works, how it was working. So maybe we'll throw that in on one of the episodes here that you're hanging out with. Also, don't forget, you'll see a couple other tabletop reviews coming up here from the channel that we had done. We completed production quite a while ago, especially we did have a longer extended review of the Wilson Combat CQB Commander size 9mm 1911. That one is just showing you all the packaging and all that kind of stuff that it came with, in case you're interested in that. But the main video has been out. But yeah, shamefully to say, we had that video was completed quite some time ago. Just honestly, just hadn't felt like it wasn't the other one. You know, just not a whole lot of interest to the other one, so we didn't really put out the extended video. But now that with the time has passed, we'll go ahead and we'll bring that out for you guys to check it out and everything like that. So there's that. There's also the Glock Gen 1, the retro Glock 17 Gen 1 by Lipsies that they put out. That's out there. So we did do an actual video with that. So at some point we'll get that out. And far as that's about it that I can think of that's in the can, that's been just kind of you know, in limbo for anything releasing on the channel. As you guys know, I've been pretty much stopped all any kind of videos like that. I'm continuing on with the show, obviously, as long as you guys are, you know, still enjoy the show and everything, which you clearly do. You're commenting, you know, we're still getting a lot of traction to the show, so you know, thank you there. We keep it going for you, pretty much. Without you, we just wouldn't do it anymore. So keep up with the comments, keep up with the questions if you got any. Like I said, a lot of times, you know, we look over the comments and everything, and we, you know, a lot of things that a lot of input and things you guys have to say does have some, you know, input here on the channel, what we're doing. So anyway, there it is. Decided to kind of bring in, talk about targets this time around, and do all that. So anyway, yeah, you know, be nice to one another. You know, it's a crazy and you know, gnarly world we live in out there. It's no longer for me. It's kind of changed. It's like it used to be really cool and rad, but now it's kind of just so uncool and bad. But you know, just try to, you know, treat people nice, and try to, you know, keep your head up out there, and you know, and I think it's important in life to don't just focus on everything negative. And I know people like that are just every day, it's just, you know, negativity. They focus on negative stuff, and they, you know, they only focus on everything, you know, bad. And but you know, it's just drama, and it's always like misery loves company. So they always want to bring you into it or something like that. And yeah, I just don't, you know. I like to do things. What I do is throughout life, definitely on a weekly basis, always keep something out in the field. I always keep something out there that's gonna excite me, that I want to work to, I want to get. always keep that, whatever that you want to call it, putting the carrot out there. Always have something to look forward to. Always have something to just kind of work your way to and accomplish or something like that. And that way it keeps you busy, it keeps you going and everything like that. That way you're not so focused on, negativity. Like actually, I couldn't tell you how long I actually thought about getting something like this. And then to finally, picking something like this up and then just saying, okay, look, I don't want to invest a ton of money into it, but I do want to check one of these out. So, I ended up, picking this up. So, anyway, and I thank you, and I appreciate everybody's support and everything like that, and keep watching the content and help me keep this channel alive and going. So I appreciate it. With your help, we are doing so. So anyway, I will see you next time. Have a good weekend.